Shalom, Israel. It's your boy New Breed, aka Brother Emmanuel, coming through with another video. In this particular video, I would like to discuss how targeted individuals will never fit in. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Targeted individuals will never be accepted by society. Number one reason why: they're chosen by the Most High God. Targeted individuals cannot fit in with society. It's impossible. Now, for those who are unfamiliar of what a targeted individual is, it's basically a person who is a victim of gang stalking. Gang stalking is when someone takes an organized or orchestrated attempt to stalk an individual. This usually happens within towns, especially towns that have Freemason hubs or what they call lodges. Towns who have certain departments or agencies connected to them. A lot of the times, certain people within that community are against what the foundation of that community is built upon. So that person is a lot of the times isolated from the rest of the people. They're watched. They're almost being stalked in a sense. They send assessment task force groups out to basically see what's going on in these people's lives. And they do this in many different ways. They also have certain strategies they use to make that person's life inconvenient as possible and frustrating as possible. They try to hurt people financially, and they also try to hurt people spiritually, doing demonic practices like witchcraft and so on and so forth. But so as you know, this gang stalking is done on a mental, physical, and a spiritual level. But the reason why these people who are targeted will never fit in with society is because they are chosen by the Most High God. These targeted individuals, these people who are being persecuted from the world, are chosen by the Most High God himself. When you go to the Bible, book of Peter's, 1 Peter's, chapter 2, verse 4, it reads, "To whom coming as unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of the Most High God and precious." So, a person who is like a living stone, that's in a sense, a stone is stubborn in its ways. It's solid. You know, a stone is immovable. A stone is strong in its foundation. But a living stone would be a stone with that knowledge. So that's a person with that strong foundation. They are disallowed indeed of men. So men are not going to allow these type of people to roam in their groups, to be a part of their social clubs, to be involved with their gatherings. Because a lot of times you're the talk of the town. You're the talk of the gatherings. While they're meeting up a lot of times after work and social functions, you are the talk of what's going on. Because you are peculiar to most. Remember, the Most High God says he's chosen you to be a peculiar people. So to a lot of people, you seem to be strange in a world where the love of many have waxed cold. Most people are pretty much narcissistic. They don't have empathy towards others. A lot of people have become gossipers, backbiters, and only thing they do is backstab and betray one another. And when you become a loyal person, a real person, a person who follows a moral and civil code and live by that moral civil code and judge people by the content of their character, you are looked at as strange, because the rest of the world is not judging by the content of people's character. They're judging on things that's external, carnal. We're living in a very vain society now, ladies and gentlemen. So people are just vain. materialistic, drawn into low-level ways of thought. So, when you become a person who is speaking differently, or I would say going outside of the boundaries of the norm, you are viewed as peculiar, which is fine. That's absolutely great. That's how the Most High wants you to be viewed. So targeted individuals will never fit in. They'll never be accepted. That's one dream that if you feel like you're being persecuted, that's one dream you should throw away, of being accepted by everybody else and living a quote unquote normal life. If you are one of these people who was born into a family full of Freemasons, born into a family full of people who are in certain religious organizations, or you were groomed to be a certain way, but you're not, and you have taken another direction towards righteousness now, because if you're raised in the truth, that's a good thing. The truth of the Holy Bible, the truth of the scriptures, outside organized religion, then that's the truth that you should stay in. But within organized religion, within systematic training of occult practices that often happen in rural families, suburban families, people a lot of times are brought up a certain way, and they find truth in other ways. And then they end up the targets of their own families. These things take place, ladies and gentlemen. And these particular videos are geared to help you understand that life is only spiritual. It's only a spiritual realm manifesting physically. It's very simple. So what we're going against is demonic attacks from people who a lot of times don't even understand that they're being riddled with spirits. And it's in our best benefit to seek truth, continue on a righteous path, strive hard to do what's right, speak out against injustice, speak truth, speak life, speak out against a death culture. Because at this time, it's very important to be pro-life advocates while the whole nation is being taught and basically being programmed and desensitized to a death culture. So you'll never fit in. You'll never fit in as a targeted individual. Let that dream go. See, I feel like one of the problems that we often have as people is that we want to fit in. We just want to be like everybody else. We want to follow the trends. Nobody wants to stand out. Nobody wants to be looked at differently. This society and this system has told you what the norm is, and we have willingly accepted that. It's time for us to really think outside of the box and find our rightful place as leaders, truth speakers, truth seekers. None of us have all the answers, but as long as you're seeking truth and you really with all your heart want the truth, the Most High God of all gods will help you find that truth. But you gotta be willing to do whatever it takes. You gotta be willing to let go of things and discipline yourself, and be willing to let go of whatever it is necessary that you gotta let go to that next level of thinking more spiritually. This world has nothing to offer us. You come in this world without nothing. You're born in this world naked. You leave out this world without nothing. All of the material possessions that we gain, that we fight so hard for, that we hold so near and dear to our hearts, once you in that grave, you can't take none of that with you. None of it. So you'll never fit in. As long as you're thinking on this level, you'll never fit in. So get used to that as a targeted individual. Know that this happened for a reason. Know that the Most High has to isolate you to be used. Now, I'm no way, shape, or form trying to tell brothers and sisters of truth to forsake the assembly. That's not what I'm saying in this video. We should never forsake the assembly. See, just because you don't fit in with the world doesn't mean that when you came into the truth of Christ, and I'm talking about Christ as the Bible has read, not how organized religion has taught them, but how the Bible reads them. Now, for those who come into that truth, you automatically have a spiritual family. You automatically have people that you connect with. You automatically got people that you're going to join together with in some form, shape, or fashion at some time. So you're not alone. Although you may feel alone in your town, in your community, you're not alone at all. You just don't fit in with a great percentage of this world, because the Bible says narrow is the path to salvation. It's a very, very narrow path to salvation, and broad leadeth to damnation. So there's a lot of people that are under this carnal vibe. And and it's difficult, ladies and gentlemen, trying to continue to walk that righteous step. But if you a targeted individual, you tried and you tried again to fit in with the masses. You've tried and you tried again. But the only thing that happens is when you backslide in that way and you begin to do the same thing that the rest of the world is doing, you're punished more severely than they are. Oh yeah, because you were chosen. So your punishments are more harsh because you are held to a higher standard by the Most High God. You were created to be a leader among your people and among the nations of the earth. And when you veer outside of that, you're going to suffer the consequences. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. If your whole life went completely according to plan, right? Every goal you set for yourself was accomplished easily with no hurdles, roadblocks. Everything you wanted to do, it just magically happened. You went through no persecution. You had no hardships in your life. Ask yourself this question. What kind of character would you have? What kind of character would you have if you never faced any tribulations? See, a lot of times when we're faced or hit with adversity, a lot of times we want to go and say, well, why did this happen to me? Why is this happening? Instead of counting it all joy and saying, Lord, what are you trying to show me in this situation? Instead of looking deeper into it and saying, some way, shape, or form, this is making me stronger for the road that I have to walk. I know what this is. I accept it. And I take this hit to the jaw, and I keep my head up and I keep moving. That's the mentality we got to have as targeted individuals. We got to remain strong. We got to continue to persevere. Because at the end of the day, we have no one to fall back on. I know a lot of people are dealing with people using the word love around them. How much people love you. But actions, ladies and gentlemen, actions speak louder than words. You got to look at your circle. Who's really with you? Who's really down for your cause? Who's really trying to support you in this life? Who's really trying to help you reach the goals that you're trying to reach? Who can really see what you can bring the world and help you get there? Because they see the potential in you. And people who help you, push you towards your goals, who see the potential in you, those people are not going to try to control They're not going to try to control who you are. They're just going to see the greatness and they're going to support it. They're not going to try to control it because they should know that it's out of their control. See, a lot of times people fear what they don't understand. So these small assessment task force groups that come and watch and stalk and follow you through stores and do things to try to make your life miserable, a lot of times they fear you. They fear you and they want to control where you're going because they look at you as someone who is uncontrollable. And it's true, because if you can't be bought or sold by this system, if you refuse to let anybody else, if you stay rock solid like the scriptures say, and you refuse to join in with the malarkey, the evil, and the wickedness, and you stay on that righteous path, you are uncontrollable to this world. 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 4 one more time. To whom coming as unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of the Most High God and precious. Targeted individuals are chosen by the Most High God. With that being said, shalom and peace.